guys, today's video is a speed paint of some fan art I did of Gallagher from Honkai Star Rail. I really love this character. I am so excited for him to come out in the next patch. If I could design a character for a gacha game, it would be someone like Gallagher. Anyway, enough about that. As you can see from the start of the video, I used a Clip Studio 3D model and posed it roughly how I wanted to get the perspective for the character and the background loosely correct. Then I went ahead and did a super rough sketch followed by a slightly cleaner sketch, which is what I'm doing at this point, making sure the clothes are a little bit more detailed, ready for the line art. The main issues I have with both Star Rail and Genshin characters is their outfits and designs are so complicated it makes them super hard to draw, but I do really love them. At this point I'm mapping out my values and shades just in grayscale. Just gives me a better idea of how the image is going to look overall towards the end. I also warp any proportions that are not looking as great, and then I move on to line art. I've recently gone for a much, I'd say, simpler line art style. I use a brush that doesn't really have much pressure, like no real taper to it, and I find that I have an easier time doing line art that way. I don't get caught up in too many details when I'm just really trying to keep it simple. At this point, I really am struggling with this arm to get it to look right in the sort of perspective that I've gone for. So I tried a couple of things, went back in with a sketch, just trying to figure out why things didn't look right, and then eventually settled on this pose and went back into some other details before moving back to the arms. At this point I started adding in the background, which mostly got covered anyway, but I decided to draw the whole thing to get it a bit more accurate in the perspective for the parts that you could see. I don't know why I went so detailed with the clocky figure, because you literally can't see it at all. And at this point I started adding in my flat colors. I originally color picked from his splash art, but then realized that there was a lot of lighting affecting those colors, and then found a image of his in-game model, and decided to color pick from there instead to give me a better baseline of his colors. Then I add a grey layer over the colours and start my shading. I often get overwhelmed when trying to shade on my flat colours for some reason. I get too caught up in all the colours, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but I have an easier time seeing how the overall image will look if I just work in grayscale. It really makes me focus on just the values rather than getting caught up in the colours. Then I add in my lighting just with a really light, almost white. Then I set my shading layer to multiply, adjust the colors a little bit. Same with the lighting, just set it to usually add glow, and choose the colors. This time I went for yellow for the lighting and a more purple for the shading. Added some background lighting and added in some reflections on the table. Ran the art through a couple of filters just to make it look all nice and coherent, and then the finished piece. I hope you enjoyed watching. Bye!